I was speaking to Nick Lane about the origin of life, and we went through all of his ideas, which I think are super interesting, and he's a great communicator of them. One thing that he told me that surprised me was he thought that if we did find life on other planets, that there's good reason to believe it would look quite similar to life on Earth. He's like, there's good reason
Uh,
to believe that life. You disagree with this?
I haven't. His reasons aren't good. I mean, he's literally just anthropomorphizing. But actually, I mean, look, Nick is a fantastic communicator and writes good books, and they sound very good. And the reason why I would disagree with him on that specifically is there is no good reason to say that because we don't know what life is. Now, if we just say, if Nick we say, oh, right, we're just going to restrict life to being like us, is there a good reason? Well, we don't know how contingent the chemistry is in biology. I'll say
Yeah,
that again. We do not know how the complexity of chemistry is related to evolution or physics. And given that chemistry in biology is really complicated and doesn't spring up in a few milliseconds in a test tube, we have reason to believe, I would say it's going to be contingent. So I think that Nick's idea is almost certainly wrong. And it's wrong because it's just a guess without any mechanism. Now, I can give you a mechanism to explain why there's good reason to believe that life will be different because life is so contingent. Now, I think we'd agree with Nick that life is based on molecules and polymers, but that's it. Everything else is open.
do you would you make any predictions about life on Earth, that any elements of life on Earth that are more likely to be seen elsewhere, and elements that aren't? Like, is there any aspect of our biology that you think that just kind of
Oh,
makes sense that it would emerge? No,
is it?
no predictions at all.
I mean, it makes sense that we have bilateral organisms moving on a surface, right?
Okay.
It makes sense that at this distance from the star, that we will have a system that will, the photosynthesis was useful. But the thing is, it might be that the, the photosynthesis is a way to access more energy technology. But no, I mean, all I'm pretty sure of is that selection is a universal phenomenon in inorganic chemistry. Inorganic selection is a thing, and it's going on in the universe. And it seems to be the only thing I'm willing to say is that selection plus time with stuff gives you the potential for life. Now, we don't know how far close we'll get to, but making any other statement is unreasonable when we only have one data point.
Yeah.
And I
We need
think, yeah,
Sorry, go. I was going to say there needs to be, or maybe there doesn't, but some information scaffold that can replicate, right? Some replicating system that can carry information from generation to generation, but it doesn't necessarily have to be remotely like DNA and RNA. It could be a completely different
well, it might not even need
scaffold
to
of
be
information.
it doesn't even need to be replication, right? We just need to, it needs to be some copying and some transmission of information that confers a survival to the molecular network and system
Yeah,
as it accumulates information and increases in autonomy. And so, and I just think we just need to be very careful about what that means, right? Um, and I'm again, so the only thing I would say, and I think Nick is absolutely fair to say, he thinks that life would be very similar. There's good reason to believe. And I think that because Nick is thinking that our combinatorial space is smaller than it is. And so I have a unique look at telescope into the world where I see that everything is really weird, right? I mean, I've got a pink mouse. Here's my pink mouse. I mean, that's a weird object. Does that exist anywhere else in the universe? No.
so I really understand your point that life is very highly contingent. So what if we go to Mars 4 billion years ago, when where they think it looked quite similar to Earth? The atmosphere looked quite similar. I think the gases were roughly similar. Is there reason to then believe in that point where the atmosphere is extremely similar, even if we assume that it was more similar than we necessarily have evidence for, then would you say life is going to look more like Earth because the atmosphere and the environment and the
No,
contingencies
I
were
just I
no?
don't have the information. If you look on Earth, look at the diversity of life on Earth and go, and I mean, elephants, marsupials, crustaceans, jellyfish, bacteria,
Dinosaurs. Yeah.
memes, right? All these things. I mean, they share features, right? And I suppose there is some features of bilateral energy production. The geochemistry does help help selection. But the thing is, there's feedback between the life and geochemistry. So life on Earth produced a load of oxygen, which produced all the rust because all the iron reacted with it. So you're going, oh, the geology. Well, the geology was actually geobiology. And so, and there was a chance event a few billion years ago that started producing oxygen, and it terraformed the planet. So one mutation in one protein, or so in one DNA, that happened to produce photosynthesis or whatever it is. Let's say that. I mean, I'm being quite dramatic. Terraformed the planet, and so the actual composition of Earth today is not natural; it's biological.
Yes.
And from that point of view, all bets are off.
Giant news. We created a completely free ebook titled 26 Neuroscience Books for 2026. I've read over 100 neuroscience books in my life, and with Christmas just around the corner, I thought I would help people find the perfect book for them or to buy for someone in their life. It includes really nice science-based illustrations, an accessibility guide, and personally written segments for each book and the impression they left on me. I also asked 100 top scientists like Dr. Mike Levin, Anil Seth, Nick Lane, and many more what their favorite science book is, and you can find all of those included at the end. If you want to support the channel, you can also purchase a beautiful physical paperback copy, also a perfect stocking filler. We put a lot of effort into our first Giant Shoulder product, and we cannot wait to hear your thoughts. Check it out in the link below. Again, it's completely free.